It started in 2009. I got arrested in Turkey. I stayed in prison for 2 years and 9 months. Prison facility, it was very tough.
Drugs been and I chill.
It was heroin in the red luggage.
But you knew for sure.
I knew. That's when I found that somebody did something to me.
Now when they push you into, definitely there would be a facilitator.
It's a guy that I went to elementary with, and he deals in drugs. He does heroin, he does all kinds, and fake IDs, and I didn't know that.
You put the drugs in your bag yourself.
Yes,
it was calculated.
Yes.
Who delay in
drugs? No patron.
When they did drugs in your bag, we say why? And why now packaging?
And then I'm packaging.
Guy.
No patron.
Into hand luggage and I say
the share plain as
but some say there are scanners.
We kind of see there be young ton drugs. Do
you regret your actions?
I did a lot. If nothing had happened to me up to today, I will appreciate and I'll learn my lesson very fast.
What can me try me? It sounded a bit strange to me. Say wash your nose mask.
Oh my God!
Because
no one
you still smell your friends said toilet.
Toilet, poop, people's yeast infection, STD, AIDS.
No
stop. It's non stop. My teeth are even falling off.
You think that will be at to a draw. The reason why you are going through all this. When I'm out to toilet, what makes you think you'll be nails?
But you'll be nails because in April I started screaming. I was taking the stairs upstairs to go stand and just wait for dinner or something like that. I think it was lunch. And I started screaming like a crazy person. They took me to the hospital. They kept me in the hospital for 1 week and it stopped. So I thought it was just, a fungus growing in my vagina area. Didn't know it was juju. So I signed
how did you know it was juju? That is my
because at first I thought it was a boil or a fungus trying to grow from my vagina due to the non-safe environment and intercourses and all that stuff.
What do you mean by intercourses?
They tried to rape me. They did.
Cool.
A Kenyan girl did.
In
prison. And a Turkish girl did.
Nina Breast Cancer Foundation did media pia ube pesa ube huni ayeye kwa YouTube channel Nina Breast Cancer Foundation subscribe me beka yenhu na yentimiwa nipa bebia breast cancer edi wonya ube timi nso so akoye Facebook channel Nina Breast Cancer Foundation like it na follow yen na huju media ayedi nyina yada mo ase.
You are from Munina Aquaba na ene yenu ababi amiati assessor the shella ayebo or the nasemo betu nim na yenu abayi amiati assessor no bi e koswa ehano ye nti de nti wabane ye kasa ne se ye de nasem betudwa na emwa bia o hwehwe no watimi anya yenu abayi oye amiati assessor ye US citizen wakotena brochre mfie bebre ne papa nso ye dokota na amiati ase se emre bi atwam one ne papa nya ntawantawa kakra no achi oko prison ma enipa bi dada na ma okoton drugs na crime check inyi mu obi de na semba na se tete na se hanoa na se ye de tudwa na enipa betie na sem no maboa na bigide se eno ena ehihira ewo na yenu abai all US no frame me oni me didide nkoma o ma meti access obeba gan ampa baba betu de beko na yena na kwetwetwe nkoma kaka before that o ma yen twa ye ho kakra
Minuanom mati asem dey enne se ope asase ana edan ato amansun biara eni ho a eno ane ejare real estate na sa ejare real estate won wo kasoa ofanko baby a aban akosi senior high school ni high court fefefe no wo firi ho pe na ura ejare real estate asa tie ani jesemiye anwea ene ebo a wo de besi dan no ebi wo ejare real estate fo na de saima eye ahomeka ene se wo twasa ase na ejare real estate wo betwa so fe edi amaw edi odin aye pillars edi esi ho land guard asemo de eno de emamu kura na sai tie ani jesema san wo ho bi me ensu a wo de besi wo dan no eye free na document asemo de eye tatahwe
de yesan ye kura efe ne se wo do address man ya na ya DHL na o document aba abeka wonsa o documents aba ye be DHL akwa akoma won to mo hwe manimu documents bebre
Woto wasase anase wo dan a na ye de ahye wo nsa eti kan ho na frɛ Ejare real estate na ansa anyawo.
say wo US so frɛ me am komo ka sa ba Ghana na wo asema beto ye ni
ane
ye di kan ye ma akwaba
me da se bebre me da se
ono me ka sa na me so ye ma me bi ame
oh the view me but it's a view yeah it's a para
o bo un fi kire mo dem
important
there's a many chen bebre
important
ntia ne ye ma akwaba bi
that's
na eden pa na eteto maka bi di kakra bi di o ka kire me na be kakra bi atu
important
yen sha see free time I free hako US o papa de odo be fa wo
important
ma me tia se so call o free boko
me fi boko
around 2000
me fi Ghana ye wo Legon nti Legon area na
okay but o free boko
me
2000 o free
Ghana but ye wo Legon
oh now how many years
me ko ni me 16
okay
important
year 2000 so na me university me chira de wo kro boko na me ko me national service
oh wow
I say me olu mind I just yo enti no what can say me no bia ha me yeah o papa so a doctor also o papa do court
papa de me court and one
enti yen chen se me no me yen hwe kwan a wo free akopie US papa be fa wa ni gem na o do be court if you are ya ba prison
nothing
time a wo ko we prison cotton drugs are could be in prison. Na the tosomiansa. The how the suspect is also what two and into Oshemo. I didn't know papa at all court.
And because I said, baby, me drew and I'm not sure who they me relaxing for 1 week. Or friend the doctor's name, the judge's name, and I showed him by your mommy. So my system they say cleaner. Or me try 1 week, me up open up dear. Me be kesi say me body appear me shape with me kind books with me use computer nema me me your Ghanaian me start here enti if they say in na fufo na kasa che na ne bufu na o se ne sade a me se so me nema nko enti me ko
said be ya ati for mo mutin betima follow discussion logically also no papa will problem
bachan
e ma o see
bachan
e dey see problem be na no papa nya e ma o see
the bufu ye na me hunde ye no papa so no no sakakra doctor so no mosa nti yes and so okonom bi school so here oba na ne bufu den no say mintunko mintu 7% mituko a me nko na so okay na me ko because so me kondodo de bi e be kusa na police abachi me na ye me koto nkola bond school forever ya nti me am tu na
police one na kuma ye che wo pe
de bi no pese ye che me
okay
jeli me na ye for me bra Ghana
e dey na na wo ye wo papa ntia time ya o pese deport
Manya sure o ka se me ntwe 1 week na ye di we me yem na ye hwe de ye me so ye doctor nti onu de be ye me ni say
yeah intino o papa say ye di we mo wa which means was there something wrong with you?
I had a mental I wouldn't say mental like this kind of mental problem. I had a clean bowel movement. I could use the bathroom. That was the only thing that got me out of the mental problem that my father took me to United States, but unfortunately, it's just too rough. He couldn't just stand people gossiping and talking.
Okay, I now understand. That's why I may try to understand the genesis of the problem. You appear to have had a mental relapse and a problem.
I would say at Ghanaians, the school that I went to, University Primary, they consider it as a psychotic problem.
Right.
So I need to stop the school and find my family and be able to
the school in now Ghana now US.
Oh, no Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into no papa in a bid to push you away from the public eye.
Yes.
And yes, or before collaboration. Or collaboration. So I think that the problem was still there.
No, collaboration in 1 week. Not for them is kind books.
Are there Hannah want to mean kind?
To mean kind, they me camera crap and minister is setting up.
I see.
That's how bad it was. The whole
normalize it.
No, to make kind books because of your obodam. Crazy woman, to make crime to be a pound dime. That's how bad it was.
Okay.
So I could focus in 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes, I can read a whole book. A book this big. That's how fast. Yeah, that's how fast my abilities started picking up, and people started getting jealous. So jealousy, my say, say, colleague will be poor. They know be Judas. Young permanent.
Jealous.
Ni fearful, me fearful. Ne for no me juma students. Mbeke can't say be brave.
I didn't say no more kika.
I say we here. In say we na shile akwara bonus still. I've seen shile statistical books. No one here.
Books now all kind of there. I don't think so. Be bit my point accusing finger at you because and no one yet bonny be and BB away bonny. But apart from that, for books in the twin check, a dear no more beam now. Oh yeah, and almost who ain't a moment you're jealous.
Yeah, just jealous because my father is very free. He has a swimming pool. He goes to parties. He's just book smart. He doesn't read before going to class. And he's a doctor, so you don't expect him to know as much. So basically he's a simple man that gets up and goes to work and comes back. So people didn't like the idea that he's giving me the whole attention. So he got upset, and I told him I have a boyfriend. He said, okay, if you have a boyfriend and you're not doing good in school, because they enrolled me in university and my dad was supposed to pay $40,000 a year US dollars. So while in the university, the high school, which is secondary school, people started talking to him and telling me all this kind of stuff, and he got upset and said, okay, just leave the house. So I left because I didn't want to cause anything. So in my freshman year of university, that's when he called and sued me.
Yeah, Matthias, I think for him say you know about seminar can you try say you better digest it every bit of it. But about you better say seminar bu had be ameka obi ba okay say won't you know e be ana enam your platform is so na the ohwehwe no na wanya nti we don't look down on people. Yes. And somebody who can mention that Nene mention that Tiasia, but me nya time amano na wacheche me mu na ye ho emoa ye nyina ra ebetimi e de aboa no ye ntwa ho bi emra.
Adolfo Crime Check Foundation aboa fomu baako eton ne dan a 3-bedroom apartment ahodo mienu edan eben kwahyeman traffic light no ne sa enti se opeka akoba bia eho enye den kra emawo edan a ye ton yi ne bo eda fem kra so woni gisa edan yi ho afra Crime Check Foundation for e wo number si egu screen ne so yi
you ati for mo nyina akwaba Crime Check ye wo TikTok page ne TikTok page no scammers na kan ho na ye brand no ye mpese ebesa nti enu nti na me yesa video yi enti opese oni edi nkita ho bia ye page na Crime Check _official your followers near 115.4k. Me sure say be edin koboy any pen be baba can definitely. Na eya homete calls ayenya ekwan as camesi a create a page bi omo jeje nkofo sekede na eya reho. Etu pese oni edi nketa ho di bia kwe page ne so numbers 2 ho 0242 074276 0557 436072 numbers mean we pay ena eye your numbers to ko page ne so na nye sa numbers we bia na enye ye TikTok account ebiem ye page no obehun se me photo bo ho me re photo eka ho eno ena ye original page so bi aju sika din so a ye be hre wo de obetima dodo no a eso meji sika ne bi kran ka ho ama police for aso enipa won say adwumapa no ye ma emra no eso mu ye damase baby ehia me eyo papa esiwo edi enyina so na ode ejina so esiwo
okoye DNA test ena no so nim say na make sense na me no lab into okoye DNA test ena according to the law obi na witnessing who say is not real DNA. Okay, DNA test. Now DNA test by me and ba.
I see.
The other brother and the other boys and girls and except me. I said okay, me know what Ghana. Me know you say it's just that you couldn't take care of me. That's it. But you were always there as much, because he's in the US. He has to always fly to Ghana every month or so to come and see me. And from the family that I'm from is a restricted house. I don't know if you know these families. I'm very restricted and everything, stuff like that. So I just He just sued me and said I'm not his daughter.
Yeah, young call DNA issue, no. Could it be say some of your actions, some of your exhibitions?
No, I didn't
doubt too. Your friend is saying, "Emaninya doubt say nebano."
Emaninya doubt because before that of my biological self, it shows that I'm a naughty girl, I'm psychotic, I'm all these things. So I gave him the file, and we filed the papers to be a citizen. So he knows everything besides, he always tries his best to come to Ghana to hang out with me, and it's not easy because I came from a very particular family where they are very strict. So he has to come down every year or every month to come and see me. So he knew what exactly was wrong with me, and when I got to the United States, everything flashed. It's now that I'm getting my mind to it, I'm like, yeah, really people are listening to me, so stuff like that.
Right. And what happened in court? What do we call court?
What do we call court?
The claims?
The claims that I'm not his biological daughter.
That is one.
I can't read as fast as I can in school.
You can't read?
Yeah, as fast. He expects everything to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at 3?
And just phone calls that comes on his phone. He has to pay about 200,000 for a phone call, or a mail that comes in the mail. Because as a doctor, Tourette syndrome and all that kind of syndromes. So he didn't want me to get any mail from just anybody who's suspecting me to be.
Now you're a bit overprotective of you.
He is. But okay. I prefer that.
Right. That's
because
my interview too long. And what eventually happened in court was sue
me.
And then you see
I'm winning case now.
When I winning case, and then I judges in the kind.
Judges first one must me lawyer brand. I'm saying just $900 to look for a lawyer. I was standing my own case.
Okay.
So I won the case, and that's it. Just,
yeah, that's fine. We need case, but what did the court object to? Some of the claims your father made,
The claims didn't work at all.
They threw
they threw his case out, and they said I'm a U.S. citizen. I can go wherever.
Did they say papa? Because I thought
the judge was like, this doesn't even make. Oh, you're Bruni? I said this does not make sense at all. Just throw this case away, because I think my father has taken me to court before since I was a kid. So yeah.
So that wasn't the first time he was taking you to court?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
The first time, then?
I think I was 5 years old, and the second one I think I was 7.
Oh, but is that possible? 5 years ago?
Yeah. I was born in a courthouse.
I'd take you to court.
I was born in a courthouse. All my families are judges and judges. That one of them is that old Ghana.
Right. I don't want to over contest that, but hold on. I said, mention that papa. Say 5 years, 7 years, because we are minor. And then on what basis?
I mean, I want
legal
if you're papa, mommy side you're hene. And papa side now, people for no monte. Say, to me, it makes sense. If you have a case, you have a case, and if you deal with it, you have to deal with it. So it's yeah.
Okay. Let's put that part aside. Just as I said, a bit. I find it difficult to believe. So it will be already 5 years. On what basis? On what locus? It doesn't actually make sense to me. But after court, we say you claim, say court not throw your father say you out. You told me, say, Okoton in Nubone, and eventually ended up in prison.
Yes.
And no about saying.
Maybe a school when graduated with good grades, because then Papa Dimechi and the students who Dimechi, they be any FM or registration, come and meet somebody, So I didn't have time for myself. So I caught up with a dragging of, the boys, have nightmares, hallucinations. I ended up getting irritated. After graduating, I went to sell the drugs. And according to the law that I know, if you get a GPA of 2.0, you cannot. In the school that I went to all white school, so you cannot be able to. If you get a GPA of 2.0 below, you cannot graduate and get a job. So I had that set in my mind as a nurse, because I studied psychology and nursing. I had that set in my mind that if I don't get a job, I just move on to the next. So I called this friend of mine.
So your GPA was low?
Yes, it's a 2.0, 2.5 something now.
Which means that you were not reading in school. Contrary to the claims that you were doing so well in school, you were reading, you were
I just into
one of
books.
the best.
I was in the books and reading, but not in the books of sitting down. That's in taking exams.
I understand.
And that's what my father was supposed to work on, and
He couldn't.
he couldn't. They threw me out of the house. So all I picked from his house was to read books, novels, anything that comes on the internet.
That's fine. So your inability to make the grade,
yes,
and it push you into drugs.
And
when they push you into, definitely there would be a facilitator.
It's a guy that I went to university, I went to elementary with, because in Ghana we don't say elementary, so I get confused. Elementary, is it? Yeah, it's elementary. I went to elementary with.
Oh, Ghana, Hana over there.
In Ghana, Ghana, and he deals in drugs.
Okay.
Deals in drugs. He does heroin. He does all kinds and fake IDs, and I didn't know that.
Okay. Are you sure you didn't know that?
I was in school, but I was enrolled in school, so I didn't know what he was up to.
Also, USOB now.
Also, you went to Baltimore, Maryland. It's not cover.
Okay.
Now, if you see your henny.
No, your boyfriend.
Not maybe as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend. Now, no, I'm not interested. So
you were rather interested in the drugs. And not
no, I was rather interested in the job when I called him.
Okay.
But he said, okay, since I'm not interested in school as much, this is what we can do. We can sell the drug. Like, if you sell the drugs, I won't be able to find myself at all.
Dying in a cancer.
Pachane.
And then you fell for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it start? When did it start?
So it started in 2009. Actually, was it? Yeah, 2009. And I got arrested in Turkey. I stayed in prison for 2 years and 9 months. I didn't have any infection. My teeth were all clean. My eyes were very clear, white clear. My bones were enough clear. It's when I was about to leave the facility of when I was ready for my deportation.
Okay, prison facility.
Prison facility, no, it was very tough.
In Turkey?
In Turkey.
How are you jailing?
Yeah, because
how many years?
2 years and 9 months.
Drugs ben and I chill.
It was heroin in a luggage, in a red luggage.
But you knew for sure.
I knew. That's when I found that somebody did something to me. Because after that,
you put the drugs in your bag yourself.
Yes,
it was calculated.
Yes.
Who delay in
drugs. No patron.
When they did drugs in the show bag, we say why. And why now packaging?
And then I'm packaging.
Guy.
No patron.
Into hand luggage and I say
the share plain as
but some say there are scanners take my call
and me catch a boy no school is in the news me kind of see there be young ton drugs na even sika
no not what and then the money is so sure as a scanners in
and me say or setting me up or setting me up
trouble weren't you aware you were carrying drugs?
I was aware.
So how could he have set you up?
Because when I was coming from prison, he made somebody put some kind of spell on me.
No, yeah, but that is part.
Yeah.
Let's deal with the substantive issue. Drugs, and you were aware. You were aware. Guy, the show backs. And why the kind of catch say you wanted to make money because now GP a low. We are on the same page, I guess.
Yes.
Very good. So, any a chill. Any amount 2 years. Technically, so there are not drug-related cases, and only very.
They will not let you come out. They will keep you in the prison for years upon years of imprisonment. So we will be to 10 years.
And now they were like a mother amount 2.5.
My therapist / the person who works in drugs told me 7 years. I'm like, I'm not going to stay here for 7 years for somebody who's narcotics and drugs. So he said 7 years. According to the law, if I had proven the people that were in my case, who bagged the suitcase, who prepared the drugs, who put in my bag, who like all this information. If I had all that, I'd have been free. But when I got to the court, I didn't remember anything.
You didn't remember anything?
Up to 2 years and 9 months.
Okay, almost beside your accomplice. The other drugs in the man. Did you mention his name? And now,
no, I couldn't mention his name.
Why?
Because nothing could come out from my mouth.
Oh.
It's like so this a job woman, no so men cash in Chilbia. Men be one. Intimate 2 years, 9 months with good behavior.
Oh, Turkish prison. Not what to say.
Hey, it's one of the toughest prison. Imagine.
At that time, American citizen.
Yes.
Did the U.S. authorities insist Omodo back to America?
No, according to the law, if I didn't break any law there, and I would behave very well, I'll be able to come across the border to either United States or deported to Ghana. So I live with a girl that talks so much. She's an American in prison. She talks so much. She got everybody very scared. She steals food. She's an American. She steals food, eat people's food, talks about people, and when she prays, she talks about demons all the time. So I started getting scared, and I started, helping people out to, escape the prison itself. Actually, I started when I was free,
helping people to escape.
They thought that's Turkey anyway. They thought if you, especially from the village girls, if they talk to somebody who is a little bit educated, they think you're the most on top. So
they saw you as a highly educated person who could help them escape. Now, did you make the attempt to help them escape?
No, I could not. I didn't want to.
Okay.
Because they will be following me, and they're still following me on Facebook. What do you call it? So anti-social intermedia or whatever they call it now. Media. Social media. I don't want people on my page at all. Because
and in prison, let's go back to prison. How was it like? Foreign land, difficult prison conditions. America, crisis, or prisons are safe, but Turkey, I'm sure would be worse.
Oh yeah,
did you learn anything? Did you regret your actions?
I did a lot. If nothing had happened to me up to today, I will appreciate and I'll learn my lesson very fast. And I think I'd rather deport myself before they deport me to United States, because it's a shame to have a record. And yeah.
Yeah, what can I say me? Which sounded a bit strange to me. Say, wash your nose mask.
Oh my God!
Because
no one,
you still smell. Your friend said toilet.
Poop, people's yeast infection, STD, AIDS, and I'm like, I don't have STD, and I started going. My skin started pulling out. I mean, hair.
Time when I had these experiences about
in 2012, I come in 1 year. Piano. And then starting to share like get on to people, talk to people, crazy, because they were monitoring me. That one did. When they monitor you in the prison, they had police watching you like.
Let's not digress. Toilets are somehow can say. How to toilets all over. It will take
no stop. It's no stop. My teeth are even falling off.
If we hear fine. Prison or Shasi?
Shasi will prison. Shasi will prison. Shasi free, if anything. If anything, I come in 9 months. I guarantee, actually 1 year, guaranteed to be able to be free and go to a safer environment where you can go out and have fun. You go out for 1 week every month or something. And I signed for that, and they approved me because of my behavior, because I was a good behavior.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm still talking about the issue of sense. Don't you think, because you think will be at to a draw, the reason why you are going through all this, when I'm out to toilet, what makes you think you'll be Nayosa?
But you'll be Nayosa because me registered to go to that facility that I'm telling you about. I think in April I started screaming. I was taking the stairs upstairs to go stand and just wait for dinner or something like that. I think it was lunch, and I started screaming like a crazy person. They took me to the hospital. They kept me in the hospital for 1 week, and it stopped. So I thought it was just a fungus growing in my vagina area. Then knew it was juju. So I signed
how did you know it was juju? That is my
because at first I thought it was a boil or a fungus trying to grow from my vagina due to the non-safe environment and intercourses and all that stuff.
What do you mean by intercourses?
They tried to rape me. They did.
Who?
A Kenyan girl did.
In prison,
and a Turkish girl did.
Okay, so let's put it this way. I'm trying to understand what you are going through. Much as I will not discount your thoughts, your beliefs, and so on and so forth. I think one might providing a very interesting background, history behind some of your actions, and the facts. You need some psychological treatment, or you've had some in the past. Some. Don't you think many people have the same problem? Some are in hospital. Some of them attribute it to spirits and so on and so forth. Jesus, all sorts of things.
That's what I'm going through.
That is what you are going through.
Yeah.
But you don't think that you need psychotherapy, which is so crucial. Perhaps you haven't exhausted the process. you need more medical attention. Instead of assuming, say, we'll beat the baby. Just as Africans usually believe. And all pull the strengths. Internet, or per se, we didn't create a shella. Or per se, shella tientiama, a homabu or trickakra, now all tientiam. Or per se, wrong one, or trickakra, now all tientiam. Why don't we agree? Say, you need some little more medical attention, which will rather help you disabuse your mind about the fact that some elements, supernatural elements, may be behind. And I'm sure you could help us do this education, because many people are almost problem, especially in Africa. Only abroad what they have a pastor out there who would say, ne mami is responsible, ne papa is responsible, ne grandmother be oboa no devote to ne time. Ushawa nkuno e bafe no emiemia no is responsible. Wo krobi a me person bonidin in the eastern region. Bitina mu kakra. Mini e me free ho. Obi a obewu krom ho bia metibi ese obi ne kon. You don't think say this backwardness comes and where we are. My advice to you is say instead of attributing your problem to certain forces, why don't you psychologically accept the fact that you need medical attention, and with prayer everything will be fine.
The reason why I'm saying is a spiritual attack, not just a spiritual, a voodoo attack or juju attack, is because when I exchanged the prison from the prison that I had to go stay in another prison, and that's where the girls were in a closed casket. It's like a messed up place. You don't have a place to even breathe at all. About 5-6 girls in the room who do juju, and they are Turkish.
They do juju.
Yeah, they were caught with juju. They let people disappear.
Did you
the private part? No. No, they let their private part disappear and all that stuff.
Their private part disappear.
Yeah. I believe with people that were killers, that they fed their in-laws with. That's why it's all coming from my mouth. They fed their in-laws with dead bodies. They cut their in-laws and fed it to their husband.
No, they didn't happen in prison, because there's no way they were going to get.
Oh, not in the prison, but it could happen in the prison. They can just cut you, because everybody and their lawyer and the judge. If you don't have the best judge and lawyer, you don't win anything.
Right.
You just say that they'll kill you.
That's spiritual, which I don't believe in. Sorry, but I don't believe a bit. Prayer is key in some of these things. Have you resorted to prayers?
I've been praying. I've been going to churches. I've been trying my best, but nothing comes out.
Yeah. Wouldn't say idea they are katawani. COVID time, once a COVID time,
COVID time,
because I do keep poor one for hours. I'm sure that's what you think.
Because one Ghana bomb, two, and
they feel no more. That's why we know Ghana bomb uniting. But the point is, America could be people, and it doesn't matter. The point is that I don't know how they actually one. So you are preventing the air from going up. So naturally, and then come the COVID type will be experiencing that will keep it on for a long time. It is a sentinel, what's in a spiritual. I'm at toilets, what is toilet center? When you're sure say we a self-generated toilet, because I don't know what they so you are generating the
COVID never not me sentence to say. Never me sentence to say.
I show and we move do. If you are COVID time, so you have to change it. Use something a bit lighter.
Because the smell that can come through, it's very terrible.
Yeah.
It can give you an infection, and it's giving me an infection. It's not my infection.
Say no, Oba Ghana, so Oba Yeden.
Before Ghana, simple home, Papa.
Oh,
and 2 days ago.
Okay.
I saw travel with family now. You're called shopping. Or renting baby on me or Legon.
Into Hona, what's the same? Okay. And my advice to you, let's say, Oba me ho, because if you're who me didn't and you think I can help you, to me, so me help her, me dey ma on say, try as much as possible. One way to heal is to try and disabuse your mind. But the fact say, try and also never how to go. It's a challenge I'm throwing to you. So there is nobody else who are hiding anywhere behind the disturbance, psychological disturbances that you are going through. And that some of these things happen all the time. So because one reorient one dream, now I'm positive, so I'm going to fight this. There is no one. I will fight it medically and pray. We understand. I think, sir, you know, there will be positive results. And so that is what I want to let you know. Sir, you try and also share. You have my number. You be a friend. You kasa.
Maybe I'm a papa be home, so now.
Very good. You know, papa, so I think that that will be good. Na you from Bible in territory. Na baby, I yes. Until then, I will call back.
I'm supposed to leave on the January 20th also.
Okay. So America then I we are Juma dia na.
Until we are Juma, me started in Nkola we Juma na me pick up smell this animal. Because I work in the department of I'm a teacher basically.
Okay.
A therapist.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I wouldn't say physical but behavioral therapist. Yeah.
I see.
So
I think
it's called schizophrenia.
Okay.
By the doctor. So when the schizo kicks in, it's every day. The medication that I have doesn't do anything. I've been taken to doctors that in Ghana.
Okay. Right. And I feel so no. Before said the assembly, where you know, okay, you can
nothing.
Then from baby, so that you fine. Why?
Nothing.
Anyway, wish you all the best. Why?
No, that's it.
Yo, into Hannah, your day, you do my day. The same say, you know about no akasa. Me so much you know, maybe the way I understand. I'm not saying say meaning a lot about some of these things. You know, some of these things are psychological issues, medical issues. Me not doctor, but me understand them kakra me wono. And I'm afraid they a true. For be ana wono, you may have an idea about how some of these things work, about what she's going through, about her hustle about how once you bet me the suggestions be aba na etimi aboa no mempuputi ene yankasa na yintimi mwa yenu abai they all come. I think say the fact say one okra wetima ananti aba ha say opemwa no it means you're determined say the ye ne bia no obe fight na wadi nkunim nti no megidi say sa interview we ebe kwetwe na obi o adwenkyere bia no watimi ade aboa yenu abai edamo nyinase.